gasoline I smell?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you all are doing amazing as always, and it's me, Joe, as always. And today, guys, welcome back to another edition of Monday's Killer News, where I talk about stuff that happened in the world of horror in the past week, and I talk about stuff that I found interesting. Now, before we get into it, guys, hit that like button, or if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much. And now, let's talk about all of this, shall we? Now, before we get into it, guys, I just want to say that I'll be seeing The Pope's Exorcist this week. A new horror movie that's coming out. I'm really excited to see it, so definitely you can expect a review on my channel, regarding this horror movie. Really excited about it, you got Russell Crowe in that movie, so that's pretty awesome. So, and it is another, like, exorcism horror movie, so that's gonna be also interesting. And yeah, I'm kind of excited to see the movie, actually. But now let's get into the news, and the main thing I want to talk about today is the new reboot of The X-Files. Now, I want to read you a bit from this article from Independent, and they wrote following. Chris Carter announces new X-Files series without Mulder and Scully. He's got his work cut out for him, X-Files creator said of the new showrunner Black Panther's Ryan Coogler. Chris Carter has announced that there will be a reboot of The X-Files, but without its lead stars. 7 years after the revival series aired on Fox, the series is returning. This is unlikely to be a surprise for fans, considering the show's impressive viewing ratings. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter at the time, Carter said, "There's an appetite for more in the future. It's just a matter of figuring out how to get it done." It turns out Carter's way of getting this particular reboot off the ground is to hand the reins over to somebody else entirely, namely Black Panther director Ryan Coogler. On Monday, 27 March, speaking on podcast On the Couch with Gloria Makarenko, Carter said, I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who is going to remount The X-Files with a diverse cast. Then it suggests the new series will be without original stars Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny, who played FBI special agents Mulder and Scully for 11 seasons and 2 films from 1993. And this gained a lot of controversy, actually. And I want to talk about it just because this is another reboot of something really famous. Now, I know that the X-Files were pretty big back in the 90s and, early 2000s. I know that it was a really popular show, and I remember that when I was little, my mom absolutely adored The X-Files, and she loved it, so, I actually remember quite a lot from the first X-Files movie that was called, like, X-Files I Want to Believe, or something like that. I don't quite remember, but, it is, like, an interesting show, right? It is sort of like an interesting premise, having these, FBI agents, essentially, chasing after aliens and demons and these otherworldly creatures. It's really cool, I'm not the biggest fan of the X-Files, but I know a lot of people that like the X-Files, and the comment about having like a diverse cast, that got a lot of people heated for I don't know like what reason, actually, because like this series that's in development right now is being done by Ryan Coogler, right? The guy that did the first Creed movie, and he also did obviously Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, right? These are, that's his like latest movie, right? And so a lot of people are mad that the comments about like having like a diverse cast, and to be honest, I am not one of them. Like I don't believe these people were saying, oh, it's like the X-Files are going woke and stuff like that, and I don't really get it, just because like having a diverse cast, like what's bad about it, you know what I mean? Now there are situations where, you know, even having like a diverse cast just doesn't help at all, and you still get a really shitty show. Like for example, the new Scooby-Doo show called Velma, that has like a diverse cast, and they're still making like some racist jokes there, and it's just bad and awful. So I just think that having like a diverse cast of, you know, actors of different colors, I think that's totally okay, as long as you know, it's still X Files, you know, which that Velma show, for example, that wasn't Scooby Doo at all. That was shit, okay, and it doesn't matter that, you know, Shaggy is black or Velma is like South Asian or whatever. The show is still shit, okay. So this is sort of like the same situation where I hope though that the new X Files from Ryan Coogler, that this series that's currently in development, that this series actually gonna end up being good, and you know, having like a diverse cast, it sort of like doesn't matter as long as you have a good story. It really doesn't matter if, you know, the actor is you know, black, white, Asian, whatever. It kind of doesn't matter as long as you have a good story and a good script and a good idea. It doesn't matter which race the characters are, right? Now, what worries me a bit that this series is not gonna have like Mulder or Scully at all in the show. So I don't know how that's gonna, like, I get it. I get that, you know, David Duchovny won't, and Gillian Anderson, they won't be in the show. I get that, but I think that having Mulder and Scully, that's sort of like the main thing of the X-Files, right? So I don't know if, you know, not having them, I think that it might do some damage, honestly. Sort of like reminds me of that Velma show where you don't have Scoob, and it's shit, you know. Not just because of that. The whole writing of the show and the Velma show is just bad in general, but not having Scoop in there is also like a big deal, right? So having an X-Files show or like an X-Files limited series or whatever, and not having Mulder and Scully in there, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Not having Mulder and Scully in like an X-Files TV show, that's bad, you know. So we'll see what happens, but you know, I'm always hopeful, you know, I'm always hopeful, so we'll see. And yeah, it is definitely interesting. Now, another thing that I want to talk about today, Scream 6, and to be exact, Scream 6 box office, because the numbers are looking good. Scream 6 so far made almost $150 million worldwide, and it's getting closer to hitting the century mark of $100 million domestically, and that is great news. Honestly, I am so happy that this movie is making a lot of money, just because it is a good movie. You know, I have some issues with it, but I think that Scream 6, and obviously I did, you know, the big review of Scream 6 where I talked about how, you know, this is one of the best sequels. I'm just so glad that this movie is doing that well. So Scream 7 is actually gonna happen, and it is kind of obvious, right? Like, you look at fucking box office numbers of Scream 6, and, you know, I'd be surprised if they were like, no, we're not making Scream 7, you bastards. No, like, this is clearly, you know, the box office numbers are clearly showing that we'll get Scream 7, and the rumors are, again, that Scream 7 is going to be shooting this year. Even the rumors are that they want to start shooting by October of this year. So, you know, we'll probably get Scream 7 next year. And again, it makes sense because the box office numbers are like this good. Like hitting like $100 million domestically, that's really good, you know, for a horror movie. So, and especially a horror movie that wasn't that expensive. Now, granted, Scream 6 is a more expensive horror movie. I think the budget for Scream 6 was like $35 million, so that's, you know, quite a lot of money for a horror movie, but still, making 150 worldwide so far, that's good. These are some good numbers, okay? Yeah, guys, that is essentially it for this week's Monday's Killer News. A lot of interesting stuff. The X-Files reboot, Scream 6 making a lot of money, Scream 7, and this week, again, I'm seeing The Pope's Exorcist on Friday, I think. So I'm really excited about that movie. Even though I am a bit sick, I'm getting a bit sick of like Exorcist movies. But this one looks really good. So, it is being released by Sony, and it is a Scream Gems Pictures movie. So, those are great usually. So, I am excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care as always, and bye.